Hey, it's Gordon Vanderpool from Turning Stones Fly Fishing. Today I want to tie a little jig that I come up with. It's called the Y.A.B jig, which means yellow and blue. That's how I remembered it. Been fishing it for probably 3-4 years, and it's a pretty good bug. Works in a lot of different water types. Been good for me anyway, so I'm going to share it with you. Alright, we're going to start with what hook we got in there. We got a Hannock 400 jig hook, size 14, slotted 3.0 black nickel bead in the vise. Can tie this from a 10 to a 20, and I'm gonna start with 16-aught Vivas black. All right, let's fire him up. Now, if I got some new folks watching, I'm not gonna have a tail per se, but I am gonna have a hot tag in here. So that might be new to you, but when you do wrap your tails in, you want to go into where the bend starts, and that's typically where you're gonna want to do them. Well, my hot tag is gonna be this. Datum Glow Bright. I do believe this is number 11. So I've cut off a piece. I'm going to double it over, then double it over again. And that puts it 4 strands upon itself, and with the size 14, that's about what I like. And if I do a smaller bug, I don't want it to be that big, so I would probably take a strand or 2 off. So you just put it in, loose wrap, and then the tension of the thread will probably bring it up on top. If it does, that's what you want. And I always wind this up to build a little bit of mass for the body, because I will put a taper here. Okay. I'm going to cut them out. The rest of that's useless. I'm going to chop it. There we go. Okay, next thing I'm going to put in a little flashy rib. This is Vivas small pearl tinsel, very similar to sulky, but I honestly think this stuff is a little bit wider, and sometimes if I'm using thicker fibers, this works really good. So I'm going to tie this in. Now there's a few of you watching this video that have seen this fly before, and I never used to tie this rib in. But it's coming into that time of year. We got a lot of delayed harvest, hatchery supported fish, so I tie that rib in, gives it a little extra kick. Okay, now this next dub is like a brown. This is a fox squirrel blend I do. I like to try to keep this pretty tight to the thread, or at least the best I can, so I am going to add a little dubbing wax. And that is, I do believe, a Y.A.B wax. I've had it for years, and the side of it no longer has a name on it, so I really forget. So like I said, I'm going to try to keep this dubbing slender. So I'm going to try this style. I always have dubbed tighter to the body for whatever reason. Who knows why, and it works, so I didn't change it. The only thing I've ever changed on this bug over the years is the fact that it's getting a little hot action on the rib. Okay. Then when I start, I'll hold the sulky, hold it up. Just slowly work my way up there. Put a smidge more in there. Typically, if somebody's new to putting dubbing on a thread, they tend to want to overdub. So as a new person doing this, you want to try not to. You can always, and long story short, they make their dubbing too thick. And it's more than they desired when they originally had plans of putting it on the thread. So always get your dub and put it on very, very thin. Man, this thing is getting me fit. You can always make up some bulk with the wrap. Okay, I'm just gonna whip that real quick. Put this over here, let him hang. Just gonna use the rotary feature real quick. Okay. Wrap this around the thread a couple times, and that'll secure it. That's all it takes. Wrap it off. Okay, I like to keep this fly pretty clean. The fish will eat it up and it'll bug out a little bit, but I try to keep it pretty clean. So this is for you, Steven Tomasevich. That trim is for you, big guy. I know you like that. Alright, buddy. Alright, so here we go. Next step, color. Kingfisher Blue. This is a Y.A.B product. It's a very small synthetic. I use it for a lot of blends. Today I'm going to use it as a whole. Sometimes I do that. But I do it as a lot of blends. I put this in a base and hit it in the coffee grinder, cut it up, do whatever you got to do to get it to where you want it, whatever texture or consistency you want with it. But it works really good for that. So now this, I'm not going to have a big gaudy collar. I'm just going to try to match this up with the pace I was going with this one. But I do want to keep it dubbed as tight as I can on the thread, and it's not the easiest stuff to dub in oil. Okay, that looks good. That's all I want. You know what? I know what's going to happen. My whip finish is going to trap some down, so I'm going to put a little bit more. Okay. It's just building a little bit right there. Okay. Now a couple whips in its business. And this fly is all about contrast. I believe that's why it works so well. You got the black on the blue, contrast. You got the blue on the brown, contrast. And then you got this hot tail, more contrast. This fly has been good to me in lots of different water types. I believe this chartreuse, I'm going to trim him up first, short tail. The chartreuse works in good deep water, not necessarily dirty water, but where you can see it, that little tail kicks out. And then in in any water that's brown, chocolate milk, dirty, that brown stands out and so does the black, the blue and clear water. And I just believe all those contrasting styles to that fly make it successful, my opinion. I hope you enjoy this bug. I appreciate all the support I'm getting on these videos. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And share and like away. Have a good day, peeps. See ya.